I'm just gonna press start and just see how it goes again. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Oh, it's working. Okay, nice. I just had to like redo the stream key or something. It is what it is. Okay, beautiful. I must chat open as well. I need to do that, and then I need to get the stream chat. I don't know what I was watching. Opera. Sorry. Been a while since I've streamed. Been a while since I've streamed. Okay, but it's already now. Okay, everything is done. It is set up and done. So we can actually get into the VOD now. You know, I said that, but I've got Epic Pen. Oh my god, I'm just trolling apparently. My bad, my bad. I need Epic Pen as well. Open. Epic Pen property. Fly one. Is that lined up? What a beautiful line. It is basically on there, yeah. Like maybe a pixel off or two. That's fine. Begin jet. Insta-lock is fine. Hit load. Okay, so is going B. Going B. Is this 720? Yeah. It's just the bit rate is a bit low, I guess. That's fine. I can still see. It's fine. I think we took this a bit too fast. It like broke. So what I would do here, because the reason why you would do the movement you've just done, right, is because you think they're going to be anywhere along the wall. That's the reason why you do like this like stutter-step movement, right? Where you're like taking these like, so instead of doing like a swing around the corner, like this corner, right? Instead of doing this, what you just did, oh, I'm on highlighter. Instead of like doing like the swing around the corner like this, what you just did is like this, right? But you've kind of just like stopped at these corners. This is where you've stopped, right? That's what you've just done, but you've done it like really, really small increments. The reason why you do that is because you're expecting someone to be like across the wall. So you're like, someone's here, someone's here, someone's here, someone's here, right? That's what you're expecting, like, each time you stop. You're expecting to see someone, or like potentially see someone. With this, it's the first round, so I wouldn't really necessarily expect this, but at the same time, I don't mind you really, like, being careful of it. I wouldn't do it like this. I also think the technique is also way too rushed. Like, we can do it, we do this a lot slower, generally. A lot better to just do it slower. Make sure you've, like, recognized what you're actually aiming at. Because it's overall just very a bit rushed overall. Secondly as well, I honestly do think just the swing is better here anyway. It might sometimes be better to do this, but I think you do this as a reaction to them pushing this at some other points rather than to do it at the gate. So I would just do a swing, yeah, pre-aimed here, because that's like the most likely place. That'll be if they want to fight this, right? Otherwise, they might be like in the corner somewhere random. So.
Sorry.
That is wild. Okay, so the problem is the reload. This is the problem here. So don't mind, everything up until this point is fine. Then we reload. We have 9 bullets. 9 bullets on pistol is like, I don't even know how many kills. It's like 4 kills if they all have a head armor. If they have no head armor, this is 9 kills. You know, you one tap them. Obviously, you don't. Obviously, yeah. But what I'm saying is that obviously all 5 aren't going to be here, and you're probably not going to shoot all 5 in this clip. But we know for a fact that there's going to be like 1, 2 players, maybe even 3. 9 is enough bullets to kill them, and 9 is enough bullets to at least kill the first person before you have to reload again. So, yeah, I don't think you should be reloading on 9 bullets. You probably even kill 2 people on 9 bullets. Yeah, the reload just isn't it. And then, as a result, there I can't assess this. So, well, what you really want to do, like this person wouldn't have done this if they didn't hear the reload. I'm guessing. And if they did hear the reload, they would have heard brims, and then you would have been able to kill that person. And then you probably would be looking for a dash and a smoke out towards the switch or something like that, right along those lines. I don't actually know what you would have done, which is unfortunate, but yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, the reload isn't very good.
What the fuck?
Yeah, just in the vibe after that one, that goes loud. Yeah, this is a
South America.
A bit slow, I think.
Nope.
Yeah. Can you do this a bit faster?
South America?
Nope.
We're gonna move in a bit.
Nope.
Don't need to watch this. I think there's jet here. I don't think you need to go up here. When your teammates going forward like that. Oh, there's 3. We've killed 1.
Nice, Sage.
Oh no, this is a symptom of.
Enemy kill. Enemy
It's a good shot. I know
Nice,
this is the
Sage.
difficult part, right? Now what do we do here?
Oh,
This is the
fuck, Sage.
This is a difficult part. Because now it's like, what do we do? Are we just going to wait in front of this smoke for a billion years? And the answer probably is going to be yes now. So right here, you probably want to try and saying you want to try and find a way to get a kill, or maybe even 2. You want to take the advantage into your own, like, you want to try and get an advantage in the 3v4. So you're going to have to take a risk. Like, taking a risk here is going to be the play, right? And I don't mean by taking a risk, I don't mean like sending it in or something like that. You probably just want to find some sort of play like cut sound, wait for them to like re-aggress into the area potentially, and you might get a kill that way, that kind of stuff, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be like aggressive, an aggressive risk, just some sort of risk. I think as well, like thinking about it as well, it's debatable, but when you get this kill, I'm pretty sure that you can honestly, I know this person's here, I would fight this person to the death. Because that person's a ghost, and they're running away as well. And then when I see this guy, yeah, he body shots you, it's just scary. But once again, I think I'm fighting to the death here. When the smoke comes up, I'm running forward, and I'm thinking I'm going to dash smoke out. Or smoke dash out. I think that's what I do there. Do I smoke dash and into Gen, and try and fight the guy? I think that is the play.
Fuck's sake.
Obviously, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, though, so... But yeah. It might be a bit retrospective, because I do actually know what's going to happen in the future. But yeah. So we end up dying, yeah. That guy is crazy aggressive. They are crazy aggressive, by the way. Did I just see them like, trying to knife the Sage or something? Oh my god, what's going on there? I'm not going to watch it. I will not watch that.
Smoke here.
That's fine. Okay, so how do we not have a gun?
Brem.
Okay, so hang on. I need to rewind. Rewind. What did we buy last round? We bought full armor and sheriff? Oh, that's not ideal.
Saga.
I saw you doing the volume and I just skipped ahead. But yeah, I just realized you buy. Yeah, this is not a very good buy. We don't want to buy this much, right? Because now we're stuck with 2,450 on this next round. Your teammates are going to have enough to buy next round. Or at least, and that is like the most ideal play, right? Is to have money on the 3rd round when you've lost the first 2 or lost the first one. And if you do manage to win the next one with like limited like resources, like win and go 1-1, that's great. But I think we should not be investing on this round. Investing on the next round is better, right? Because think about it this way, right? You invested on this round, and the next round you'll invest about the same thing, right? What's going to be more likely to get you kills, though? Is it going to be buying a Vandal on the 3rd round, or is it going to buy the Sheriff 2 times in a row? I think it's going to be that this on the 3rd round. Because this gun is going to be way more impactful overall than a Sheriff is. Because a Sheriff can be a bit more, I guess, not exactly RNG, but it's like you have to hit the headshots, you know? And you don't always do that. Obviously, the Vandal is sort of like that in some ways, but it's got a lot more to fall back on than just like hitting headshots, basically. Something else as well with it is, let me think. There was something else I was gonna say and I can't remember it. Sorry, I made the practice right now. I had to practice. There was something else I was gonna say. It wasn't that. I was gonna say, no, you're not doing that. Okay, my train of thought's gone. I'll remember it in a sec. I remember when it's not important to bring it up.
Nice.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember now. So when you're like, for instance, like one of the reasons why it's not good to buy on the 2nd round, or not exactly one of the reasons, but it's one of the results of not people not buying on the 2nd round, right? Is that there's actually like a decent amount of strategy you can do to get you kills on the 2nd round, right? Something like buying a shorty, going sitting in a corner, or like finding a way to put yourself in a position to use a more specialist type weapon. The classic itself is a specialist type weapon. It's really good in close range when you can burst someone down and get 2 headshots in one. that's a really, really good time to use it. It's very similar to the shorty in that sense. You don't have to pay the money, but the shorty is more consistent in those ranges. So there are ways to bridge the second round, even without buying stuff like this, right? And so it even further like decentivizes that you invest on this round, because not only will you have a arguably, or very much more arguably, much more justifiably strong third round if you buy a Vandal, Phantom, whatever you buy, that isn't a Sheriff, then buying another Sheriff on the third round, basically. So there's multiple reasons why you don't want to be doing second round buy into third round buy.
Brim.
Now, funnily enough, because you put yourself in this position, it's actually probably best for you to probably buy something like Regen Shield and no Sheriff. And to kind of bet your teammates, to be honest, in this situation, to be honest, because you've managed to put yourself in here. It's not the greatest, because you don't actually have any, like, straight up power. So you can, like, kind of, like, try and bait for a gun. Or you can just buy a more, I guess the Sheriff is probably the best in that situation. You could go Ghost. Or you could go short here. But yeah, I think you definitely go regen shields here. That's for sure. But yeah. I wouldn't bait normally though. The reason why this play, like, the reason I've told you already, like, this buy is not very good, this order. And then you're in this order. You know, you're kind of incentivized to bait teammates here for the gun. Because you're kind of controlling your own economy, and then, okay, well, it would have worked out, you know? It would have worked out if you didn't buy anything. And the regen shield. It would have worked out in retrospect. And this is likely to happen as well. Like, people with the guns should be ones going for first, so you're not likely to go first anyway. Okay, nice. You can smoke here. You kind of one-wayed yourself. It was a good try, though. So what I would do here is I would, like, you had the thought correct, you just didn't do the execution. So what I would do is I would go in a custom game, and I would just run this. If possible, obviously you can't see right now, so it's a lot harder. So what you can do is you can smoke the ground on yourself, and then try and do it quickly while the smoke is up as Jet. You can try and do that if you want to. But yeah, you just want to do some dry runs of this, I think. Just doing some dry runs of this smoke is really, really good. Because it's not easy. It's not easy. It is easy once you get like the rhythm, like not rhythm, but you get the muscle memory to do it. Then it becomes like really, really easy, right? But to get like some of these pathings correct, especially, oh my god, especially especially the the one on top of Gen, the updraft dash, that one can be difficult to do. There's some other pathings that can be difficult to do for Jet. But when you're like first learning them anyway, and then once you've got them down, you know, and then you don't make the mistake that often of failing them. But yeah, I would just recommend doing some dry runs there. This is a hard round for the Tage to win. Doesn't win. Yeah, so I think there's a couple of mechanical problems here. There's also the problem of not having a gun initially. So we kind of like baited our teammate. Kind of, honestly, it wasn't the reason why we baited our teammate, but theoretically, you would have probably baited your teammate here anyway. So yeah, I would just try and fix our economy there on the second, third round. First, second, third round. And also I would try and make sure we do some dry runs of our entry pathing on Jet. Those are the two main things right now. Until we see more. I'm not really focusing on mechanics too much. I think overall, I'm not going to focus too much on mechanics, because at this point on silver, right, mechanics are really important. You probably heard it 1,000 billion times. So I'm not going to repeat everything you probably heard. What I would do is, you want mechanical advice, just go to Woohoojin's gunfight hygiene video. It's still good. It still works. Just copy what he does and follow his reasoning in that video, because that's going to be it's probably the best source of information to get you from X to gold, basically. So that's what I would do. Sorry, I didn't even watch the round. But yeah, so there are some mechanical things. I'll point them out. I probably won't actually like talk about too much. So this is better. It is just mechanical and not getting the kill. I think maybe we're a bit slow, but I think that's fine. I don't mind the dash out, but No, I think I don't mind the dash out. I think it's fine. I think everything's fine here apart from, yeah, just didn't kill him. You know? It's just trying to get the mechanics there.
What? Fucking bitch.
So the choice to go out there I think is completely fine.
We are a bad duelist.
Here?
But then
What
through
do you mean?
come after me.
Oh. Wait, is there a reason why you said that?
Jet, I need talk you. We are the.
Okay, I'm not gonna watch that again.
Through
Sorry.
me.
They do that a lot.
Come after me.
I think this round,
But then through
Sorry,
me.
this round you have a Guardian, right? I don't think I would be looking to entry here, especially because we've got Yoru. I think we can be a bit more flexible. I think that, well, Yoru can also do the same in some ways too. He can be a bit more flexible because we've got Jet as well. We're playing Jet. So I think in this situation, you have a Guardian, right? And the Guardian's really good at long range fights. And we're going towards B main. And B main is not particularly long range. I mean, it is a tiny bit here, right? And it is a tiny bit here, but you're not necessarily taking those fights a whole lot, like maybe here. But like for the most part, you're taking the more close range fights over here, or you're taking some of these fights which are a bit more medium range. Like they're going to favor the Vandal and the Phantom. These fights are, right? And some of these close range fights even like that you might even take like over here, over here, over here. If you're dashing close as well, you might take a medium range fight here, decent medium range fight here. Like there's a lot of medium to short range fights you're going to take, not a whole lot of like long range fights you're going to take, where the Guardian is going to excel at. So what I would do with the Guardian here, I'd be top mid, or I'd be doing something A maybe, because this is like maybe long range. This is fine, like this angle is fine, like I've already said, but yeah, you can do one like here as well. But I would try and find another play that isn't with our team here, I think. Just to try and get like some sort of advantage in the round using the Guardian. Obviously mid is like the most obvious one. The only thing is that I'm not sure. I can't remember if we press tab or not to check their money, because they might have a Vandal, an operator, and we don't know. Basically,
But then through
we know they don't have ults because I can see up here.
Sorry.
But yeah, we should be checking for ults. We should be checking for money, as well. We don't seem to. Maybe we do. I just miss it. But yeah, we should be on top mid here with this Guardian, I think, in my opinion. Some sort of way to use the Guardian. The only alternative you have, like the one thing you can do here for B main, which is like interesting to be fair, is like wallbang this. So you can wallbang this. It is possible, but you're not doing it. So that's like the thing that I would do here. If I had a Guardian and I specifically went to B main for a reason, then it would be
I have
the
ult, I have ult.
wallbang.
Wait, outside, can you hear me? 2 seconds we push.
Yeah, that needs to be smoked ideally, but
Here.
oh, that's a good try. Good try. I like that. You know what I like that you didn't try and just dash in. You've actually tried to go for a kill with the dash, and the fact that you missed is something you can clean up with just like practice, right? The actual choice to try and take a fight then dash away is better than just dashing. Like a lot of people would just dash into sight here and not want to risk the chance of like dying in like a low percentage that you'd like risk dying that you didn't press dash in time, whatever, right? But you actually try to take a fight and dash away. That's what I like to see. That's actually really good. Really good choice to make.
Yeah, outside, why didn't you heal me?
A lot of people are so addicted to healing in this game as well. We're aiming a bit high here. I don't mind you playing backside either. Though I would probably try and match. Like, the problem is that our teammates are making some really bad decisions. They are trying to hunt in a 4v2. But there's an argument, right? That when your teammates are making dumb decisions, it's a lot better to make a dumb decision together than it is to make a good decision separately. Because in this game, right, one of the biggest parts of this game is to trade each other, right? And they're putting themselves in situations where they can't be traded, potentially anyway. Like these two players, if someone is here, then they get the kill on Yoru. No, neither Sage or Killjoy can trade. And neither can you either, right? So they're trying to find these ones that aren't going to work. But if you walk up to the Yoru here and essentially play off of him and try and like refrag when he gets killed, then it can definitely go wrong where you'll die as well, and it can be really bad. But at the same time, and obviously like that could like snowball it even more, but at that point it's actually them making the mistake, right? You were trying to trade them out of the bad situation, and if you actually played back, you're actually still going to eventually probably take a 1v1 anyway. So if anything, you kind of took the more advantageous scenario at the two potentially, because you were playing off a teammate originally, and it could be a lot harder for them to like switch to where you are playing, because this is like these example, like obviously here is that you're standing behind them and then swinging to the same angle, which isn't great. But there are situations where a teammate will play like this or like this, whatever, and you'll be able to play it on like an off angle in like a crossfire, and it would be a lot better than like if they were doing it solo, basically. I'm not sure if I really explained that the greatest, but yeah, basically what you want to do is I would try and match your teammates when they're trying to make bad decisions a tiny bit, to try and save them from those bad decisions. And sometimes, yeah, you're like, both of you will be caught in that bad decision, but at the end of the day, you, in my opinion, made the better play, with a more blameless play, than if you just sat back and did nothing. Because if you sit back and do nothing, you're just going to end up in a 1v1 again anyway. You know what I mean? Like the 1v1 fight anyway. They might as well just go for a trade off a teammate anyway. It's a lot more likely that you actually end up with the result you want with the winning fight, rather than just taking bunch ones, basically. Okay.
Nice.
What happens here? So, oh wait, you get the first frag here. Oh, okay. So, in terms of mechanics here, this is quite scary because this gecko. We're 6 minutes in 6 minutes. We're 6 minutes. We're six seconds into the round. This guy can not only just be already here, but he can be already on this wall. So right now, our crosshair's not in the greatest position. We're also kind of doing like I don't know what to call it, like the scenic sort of. We're like doing like a scenic sort of camera here, where we're kind of following this corner instead of, in my opinion, like if I was doing this, I'd be standing in like a position, right? I'd be standing, if I go back, what I would be doing is I would stand here and swing into the angle with my crosshair exactly where it should be to land the crosshair exactly where they'll be standing, right? And not only would I do it, I would also do it in a part of the round where they can't, like I would do it like instantly at the gate, basically. If I planned to do this, I would do it instantly. Just so they can't sneak into bad position, right? Into a position that was bad for me, at least. The actual shot, like the shot, you fired a bit fast, I would say, probably. You kind of like jiggled, but this is fine. You actually end up killing him. I think that was mainly, honestly, because we have a Guardian. I think if you had a different weapon, you might have lost that. Maybe not a Vandal, or Phantom, but yeah, some of the weapons probably. But yeah, because the Guardian has really high accuracy. Speaking of the really high accuracy, though, I really want you to get the shooting graph. The shooting graph is really, really good. It's a shooting error graph. It's on stats in UI or interface or something. I can't exactly remember, but it's wherever you can put the graphs on. It's on the very, very bottom of that menu. And I would put it on because it means that you can understand like when you're going wrong due to not aiming correctly, or when you're going wrong because you're moving while you're shooting and that kind of stuff. So I'd recommend putting that on. Guaranteed. That's like, in my opinion, like you should always have it on until you're very, very comfortable with playing the game without it. Or like, even to be honest, there's no argument really to not have it on. Even for like pro players, right? Because, you know, sometimes, I mean, to be fair, they'll be easily way more likely to know why they died. But yeah, once you like can start understanding it from feel alone, that's when you can like kind of turn this off. But realistically, you can have it on anyway. It doesn't really matter. At that point, right? It just, I guess at that point becomes like more clutter, but I think anything below Immortal should have it on. Anyone below Immortal should have it on. That's a good kill. I mean, we don't really have to be looking around like this. You can just like be sitting there looking at the smoke. So yeah. Because there's no way they can die from anywhere else other than getting the door getting sprayed, which you'll hear, which has been sprayed now, I think.
Yo,
Yeah.
What the fuck?
One enemy remaining.
Sorry for flashing you.
We're moving around a bit too much. In post-plant, this happens a lot. A lot of people either don't know where to play and they stay in a really bad position, or they don't know where to play and they move around a lot, right? And you're kind of playing in the same position a lot of the time here, but you're kind of moving around too much. We're like not trusting our teammates, and to be honest, it's not great to trust your teammates. Oh, that was a good shot. It's not always great to trust your teammates in these situations, but at some point you kind of have to trust that they're watching that, or that they'll die before that you'll die in that situation, at least, right? So to an extent, you got to trust that your teammates are going to die or get a kill before you die or get a kill from that angle, basically. Because there you don't really need to worry about door at all, right? Because well, at this point, you know that there's going to be at least Brimstone, and then at this point, you're not really looking at the map now. Okay, at this point, you might be looking at the kill. You might have looked at the kill feed real quick and seen that Brimstone died, which means that this is open. And then you got Yoru here. You might have looked at the map. You might have looked physically. To be fair, it's also possible. But for the most part, I think if you're actually like behind this box behind you, you don't have to actually have to look at this, and you can just hold this forever basically. So I think you're a bit too scared. You can just trust your teammates. I think.
Flashing you. Sorry.
And that's actually a really good kill. It's really controlled. You you just moved your crosshair to the head and shot very, very nicely.
You. Sorry.
Let me just quickly see the movement again. Yeah, that was fine.
It was like perfect.
It was like a little strafe.
It's run, man.
That's fine. Pretty good kill. Oh, do you think about an operator?
Gecko's gonna.
We did save from the last round. You can think about dropping if you want to go operator there. You can just say, yo, can you take this?
Gonna do
Or
something.
someone take this, someone who died. There you go. Go buy an operator. So I do recommend buying the operator a lot. An attack is a bit harder to use, but honestly, I would buy the operator, especially at lower ranks, because first of all, they lose them very easily. And second of all as well, it will get you to grips with how to move with the operator, how to play with the operator and that kind of stuff. So even on attack, I'll be like, yeah, just go for the operator and have a go. Ooh. Good kill as well. Let me just watch from the start of the round. I don't know why we're doing this with the knife out in the corner. It's because we're trying to dodge the... Yeah, we're trying to dodge that, that's fine. Very far away from it though.
Viper low.
It looks like your teammates are going mid. I don't mind you following them after a decision to move away.
Ah, Jet.
Yeah, that was a good kill.
Ah, Jet. You're blocking me.
Yeah, I think that's good. The Yori's stupid.
Ah,
Ignore him.
Jet. You're blocking me.
I mean, you did block him a bit, but at the same time, I think it's one.
Ah, Jet. You're blocking me.
You actually headshot that guy through the wall, I'm pretty sure as well. The guy on the left.
Heal.
Yeah, the shots and movement were good.
Ah, Jet. You're blocking me.
The last shot was definitely a bit lucky,
Ah,
but
Jet.
that shot through the wall. Actually, I'm not sure if it is through the wall. I saw the little sparks, but I'm not sure it actually is
Do you
that.
have heal?
Maybe right.
One enemy remaining.
Do you have heal?
One enemy remaining.
I don't mind asking for heal there. That's fine.
Heal. Do you have heal?
One enemy remaining.
Heal. This is a bit okay. So this, even though you do win this, like this is we've got no point in going for this 1v1, right? It's a 3v1. Imagine if you lose this, right? Then your teammates are in a 1v2, and what you've done is mainly you've put the potential to win or I guess lose in the hands of your two teammates rather than in the hands of yourself. And I understand that this probably feels like you're like taking the game into your own hands by going and finding the kill. It actually is the opposite, because you're basically putting that that choice at risk, right? You're putting the chance of you having more impact up to risk, up to a chance of you having more impact, rather than actually having more impact, right? By calling for like a crossfire play, or by just playing off of a teammate, or like baiting it. Even baiting a teammate at this elo, to be honest, would work fine. Just I say baiting. You don't necessarily bait them, I guess. What you do is you just trade them, right? You just trade them. But at this elo, it's going to be hard to call for those things. But so you just basically trade off of them. You don't specifically bait your teammates, by the way. Baiting is bad, generally. There are times where it can be useful, but for the most part, you're going to be trading, not baiting. Is it just misspeak?
Ready.
But it's basically the same as... In this elo, sometimes it can be the same. In lower elos. Because they don't really understand how trading looks, so it just ends up looking like baiting. Usually is how it goes. Usually is how it goes. And usually people get very angry when they get traded. In this elo as well. Because they don't. Okay, so I think... I'm not sure if you spoke beforehand, but there's like important things. So right here, we should be looking at the money. I'm guessing we are, right? And the other thing important as well is we should be looking at ults. Not sure if we are. Something that's really good to do, getting a really good habit of at the start of the round, call out enemy ults, especially ones that are more useful to call out, like these two or this one as well. I mean, these four really. Clove not as much, because Clove is more situational anyway. Yeah, I think it's really important to call out the really impactful ults. It's more impactful as well to call out, especially if they've got like you would call out Clove's ult in the situation that you're going to Clove's site and that kind of stuff, right? But you can call them out anyway. It doesn't really matter. There's no cost, really. You can just call out all of them anyway. But it's very important to call out the ones you know will have straight impact straight out the gate. Like, for instance, on this round, it's going to be these two that are going to have impact straight out the gate, right? On defense, these people can send out the shark. They can send out the rocket on the barrier drop. So these are really important ones to call out. They're like top priority. These ones probably secondary because they have a lot of high impact for the space, so they can control a lot of space. And then Clove is like a lot more personal, a lot more selfish of an ult, and generally has a lot less impact. So that's like third priority to call out. But overall, you can just call them out anyway. It doesn't really matter. And then we call out the money as well. We should also call out like if they're saving, if they can buy an operator, which they can. And that kind of stuff, right? We want to call out that kind of stuff too. So I would recommend doing that, getting the habit of that. At the very least, you don't have to call it out to your teammates. I would, personally. But at least make sure you're aware of those things. And there's really no cost to it, like saying it in chat, right? Really no cost to it. You can just do it. Let me just quickly ban the bot.
Time for a field test.
Stay back, stay back.
Let's play slow. Let's play slow.
I don't think we can play
Watch
slow.
out
So,
for it, guys.
Field test.
so first of all, we should be if you wanna play a certain way, you wanna do it before the buy phase reaches 5 seconds before before barrier drop. You want to make sure you say everything you want to say for the way you want the round to go before 5 seconds of the buy phase, or like before the last 5 seconds of the buy phase, because at 5 seconds it's when everyone's ready to go and thinking about the round ahead of them, in terms of like what they've got to do to like fulfill the game plan they've already like made up in their mind for that buy phase. So if you say stuff before the 5 seconds, the last 5 seconds of buy phase, they're going to actually take that into account. If you say after that 5 seconds, they're already thinking about other things. They're not thinking about what they're going to do. They're thinking about how they're going to do it. You know what I mean? So you want to be, if you want to say like what you want to do, you want to say it quite far in advance. But also as well, you can't really say you're going to play slow when you have like the Yoru ult, and Yoru said, I'm pretty sure he said he was going to ult, right?
I have all.
But he said I have ult. Okay, so that kind of is like half there, right? And I think if you like talk about that you want to play slow, then maybe he says that he's not going to ult. So you just need to communicate this before you actually want to, like, because playing slow
Stay back, stay back.
here
Let's play slow.
is not a very good way to do it.
Let's play slow.
And you should just say it in game,
Watch
you know,
out for it,
use
guys.
the mic to
Watch
do
out.
it if possible.
You cannot push like that.
Go.
You cannot
Yeah, I
push
think-
like that.
Go.
Okay, that's fine. I thought Yoru kind of trolled you then, but you didn't. That's fine. I thought you didn't ping it.
Our spike carrier gets killed.
That is crazy.
Spike down A.
Where are the smokes? I'm not tripping.
You cannot push like that.
I don't know why Brimstone's not smoking
Spike
stuff.
carrier gets killed.
He didn't smoke on the killjoy, he didn't smoke on
Down
this.
A.
Don't know why he's not
You should
smoking.
run. Spike down A.
It is what it is. It happens. It's a bit aggressive that, but
Spike down
we're in a
A.
4v4, right? And realistically, we should be able to get the spike down, which realistically we should be able to. Which means that the spike is generally a +1, as far as like teams are concerned, right? It's a +1, like a +1 player, is what it is. Kind of when you plant the spike, right? Because you're giving them like the time constraint of the bomb, and generally that can like be the equivalent of another player alive, because they have to deal with it, right? They have to interact with the bomb. Oh my god. So I wouldn't have gone aggressive here because we know that again the spike down is going to be an inevitability basically in a 4v4, and we can also have some good positions on site potentially to play. So we don't really need to be risking the fact that we could bring it down to a 3v4 in favor of them, right? We just don't need to take that risk. We end up making it a 3v3, so it's not the worst case, but it's not great either. Like we just didn't need, basically we just didn't need to take that risk.
Oh, sorry, bro.
Oh, me, sorry. We just didn't need to take that risk. And we just took a needlessly, like pointless kind of risk, basically. I don't know.
Oh, sorry, bro.
Yoru's not very good at using his flashes.
Yeah,
He also could have very easily died there.
Push, push,
Wait, what? There's no way you lose this.
push, push.
Player standing.
Oh, okay, never mind. It's fine, it's fine. Ooh, that was... I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of close. That was kind of close. Okay, operator, that's what I like to see.
Watch out, grenade. Wait, wait, wait.
Getting used to how to use the operator, using the operator. We don't need to look at the window, because only Rays with the rocket can do it. And you could stop
Watch
the
out,
rocket from coming
grenade,
through.
Wait.
But you have to be posted now, right? Against good player, like the Raze is already ulting satcheled up once at this point. So you need to be aimed in already, realistically. It'd be like now she's firing, or something like that. Somewhere around here. Maybe it's like 3 or 4 seconds. She'll be firing. But yeah, so yeah, it's kind of spooky how slow you were to look at that. If you actually wanted to, if you actually did want to counter it. Bro was holding hands. What's cool? Just holding hands, did he? That is a crazy res.
Headshot.
It's a good shot. I bet to say that honestly, I'm surprised he didn't right click here. It was kind of good control, right? Because you have an operator. So because you have an operator, it's kind of hard to then be in this situation. The dash backwards is not the play though. I think when you dash here. Oh, you didn't dash backwards. You don't dash forward. Yeah, I think just missing the right click is the problem. Although honestly, if that was me, I think dash would already be primed, and I'd be dashing this way after right clicking the clove again, right? I think that's what I'd be doing.
Headshot.
Nice.
The left click is scary in that situation. We end up dying for that, but it was a good try. It was a good try. Honestly, it was a good. This was a good shot. It was like really quite. It was like quite control. I would be a lot more. I wouldn't be panicked necessarily, but I would be a lot more rushed to do the right click there. I would say.
Spike down B.
But yeah, I mean, realistically, like if you're that controlled, then you don't need to right click,
I see nothing.
especially versus
Smooth
these types of
that shit.
players. They're not going to react that
Brim.
fast. You've got time to left click, but realistically, a right click is pretty
Behind the
better.
brim. Behind.
One enemy remaining.
Behind.
What? What did you just? What did the Viper just do that?
One enemy remaining.
That is crazy. Huh?
Other side.
Nice.
There's no way you lose. There's no way you lose that. What a wild game.
مش مسامح في الساندوتش.
That was a good try.
مش
This is
مسامح
more
في
similar to what I would
الساندوتش.
do, right? But my crosshair would be here when I've got to this corner, right? And this is literally because of practice, right? And there's also those lineups for this as well. You can go into a specific corner and line up against over here somewhere. I'm pretty sure in the window. I don't remember the exact lineup, but yeah, you can do that. You can line up and then be exactly here when you're at this point. So either learn those or just try and get to grips with like where to aim on this map. Or you can do it in a custom game. Doing these like dry runs as well, the jet smokes and that kind of the jet smoke dash. You can do these as well. You can do dry runs, a peek in this if you want to.
Here.
It's honestly, I'll be real with you. That type of stuff is really boring, but it gets results though. It does get results when you're doing dry runs of these things. It can be immensely boring, but it does get results. That was a good shot.
Here. Turret out.
The thing is with this shot, like the actual shots are good, but the movement is the problem here a tiny bit. And because what you've done, if you've moved and aimed here, and I told you I said I wasn't going to talk about mechanics that much, but this is a really important thing that I haven't seen yet, and that right now, like right here, you stopped. You stopped here. Right here. Bang. And then you aimed. You can see that, right? 2 separate motions. You stopped here, and then you aimed. What you want to do is you want to try and make sure you're moving and aiming in the same motion, and then stopping and shooting, or stopping and then shooting in 2 separate motions afterwards, right? So you're going to move and aim, and then once you're on the target, you're going to stop, and then you're going to shoot. That's what you want to do, right? And the stop and shoot, it can be really fast close to each other, right? Because in this game, there's no velocity. Or like there's no velocity in strafing, right? So you're just, as soon as you let go of A or D, or like left and right, you've stopped, right? So you can do those stuff really, really fast. That's what you want to be doing, right? Moving and aiming in the same motion. The thing is that you can kind of play like that. It depends on the situation. It really depends on the situation. It also depends on how mechanically insane you are really. Because people like, for instance, like I think there's a video that Tens talks about Shroud, where Shroud in this game, he does stop and aim in the same thing. Like he is standing still and aiming, but he also has micro adjustments in between his move, like in between his shots sometimes, and that kind of stuff. Like there's a lot more to him than that anyway. But yeah, it can work. It just, you really have to be really strong mechanically aim wise, like Shroud is, to do that. So obviously not going to work for all of us, and not like 99.9% of us. So I would say for the most part, you want to be aiming and moving in the same motion, stopping and then shooting.
I got the spike.
The reason why I bring that up, by the way, is because a lot of people will take advice from Tens and Shroud or whatever, right? Like these pro players. And the thing is that they have really good perspective for how they play, but how they play is not going to translate very well to everyone else, right? Simple as that, really. They make decisions and choices on how they play mechanically, like what buttons they press. Like for instance, like bindings is one of the biggest ones about it as well. I think it's Curry who has really horrible bindings that I would never recommend to anyone. And it's like similar to like even in League. Like I've got more experience with like League and like bindings wise anyway. Where people have like WASD to move the camera. Like I think there's a pro player called Stixay who uses WASD to move the camera, and I would not recommend that to anyone that plays League of Legends, never mind new players. And it's exactly the same in this game, where there's going to be people that play at a really high level and they play very specifically to how they used to play in the game, right? And that's one of those things where it works for them, doesn't mean it works for everyone else. And that's the reason why I bring it up, because people will take Tens' advice very, very literally to their game. And then they'll still be stuck in the same place because they're doing the wrong things. Because it only really works for Tens or like people that are better at the game overall, like pro players. It doesn't happen very often, to be fair, because they tend to have very good perspective anyway. And for the most part, they have really high level perspective, so they aren't really aiming their advice at new players a huge amount of the time anyway.
Please push first with your big body. Him, please push first with your big body. Him, please push first with your big body.
Just quickly point out as well, clearing that angle once again, very similar to before. We're not really ready for where we're aiming, right? What we've like exposed ourselves to the angle without being ready to aim there, right? Our crosshair should be a bit to the right now. But yeah, just something to bear in mind about it. I'm not going to like overdo it. I've already gone over it a couple of times, so I'm not going to go over it again. I'll just remind you when it happens again, if it does happen again. Yeah, so we've got the kill droid. We don't need to worry too much. Our Brimstone has put the smokes in a bit too early, but that's fine. So this time, okay. So this time we didn't actually go for. That's really unlucky.
Oh my god.
The wall was kind of bad. I'll be honest. It's like half the choke point against Odin's.
Oh my god.
Not ideal. Made it so no one could go right.
Oh my.
Yeah, we probably dashed too early, as well. I also would have liked to kind of go for a fight. Like you did before. Like before was really good when you went for the fight and then dash. It doesn't always work, but I think it's really good in these solos, especially when you're like trying to learn the game, like below gold especially, and like probably below immortal especially, like immortal as well. Below immortal is also probably a good time to be playing like that. And it's also good in just in general to try and go for that when you've got that resource. But there are going to be like fringe situations where you wouldn't go for it, and I wouldn't expect anyone to go for those fringe situations. Like I wouldn't expect anyone to make those decisions in that fringe situation above immortal, like below immortal. So I think that go for that fight every single time using the resource and the dash is the best play. Majority of the time. It is the best play majority of the time anyway, like just in general. Okay, so right now, once again, we should be trying to look at what the enemy team has. We have a Guardian, so we're going to be looking for long-range fights, right? Unless they have an Operator. If they have an Operator, we want to be careful with what long-range fights we take. We will still want to try and avoid the Operator because we're not going to win versus the Operator, most likely. We want to try and find some long-range fights that they won't be taking. We need to try and find the Operator, if there is one. Oh my god, that was kind of scary, I'll be honest.
Smoke's down.
There is a time here that you can just get shot. You'll just get shot. And you'll feel like it's through smoke as well, because the smoke will go down at the same time the shot gets fired. So it will feel like you got shot through smoke, but you wouldn't have done it. It'd be just when it goes up. So you'll be careful of that. Careful of that.
Time to jump.
You're in not that much of a rush either. Like, you don't have to be in this much of a rush. If you are rushing, you can still play a tiny bit slow for like util to go down to minimize risk, right? Tiny bit anyway. That's shootable. Yeah, you gotta shoot that, I think, but that's fine. I like that you were kind of took your time in this fight. You kind of tried to aim on a head. I think you took your time on the fight decently well there. I think you could definitely do. I think it's honestly actually wait. Let me stop stuttering for a second. I think you did fine here. It's just like getting used to playing the game. This part I think because you took your time decently well there. I think overall though the trap just has to die. You know where the trap is.
Whoa,
And you know that as well. The reason why you know that she's watching it as well. This is very, very important as well because you actually know that she's watching it from here. She just threw it. Why would she throw it right now? Well, we know for sure that she's going to be standing here, which is a really bad position. But we also know that because she's standing here and she just threw this, she probably also heard us, by the way, because the ring would have been like this, right, or like this. So she would have heard us. So she's probably watching this. Like she probably has no reason to watch this unless there's, I guess she's to the or maybe Sage. So maybe there is a reason to watch that, but she probably has Turret watching it from over here or something, or over here. She may even have another player on site with her. We don't know. But I know for a decent chance that she's going to be watching this. There's a decent, like from the fact that she threw that.
Can
Oh,
push guys.
Spire.
It is very weird that your Brimstone just is
guys,
allergic to
come here,
placing
come here.
smokes. It is very weird. That guy just does not play smokes. He just does not fancy it.
Spike down A.
Viper on
Oh,
side.
that's
Left,
so
two,
unlucky.
Left.
Spire.
Viper on side. That's one up in the wall. Can
Oh,
push
I think
guys.
we're a
Come
bit
here,
scared
come
there.
here.
I think you can commit to the fight. I mean, you're 56 HP, so it sucks a bit.
Viper on side.
But yeah, I think we just shoot. When we see this person, we just shot instantly, right? It was an instant. It was kind of instant. No, it wasn't too bad. It was very fast.
Side, that's one up in the wall.
No, actually, no, you did throw it away. No, you did. That's actually really good. Never
Hey,
mind.
come here,
Well, it wasn't really
Gun
good,
here.
but it was
Viper on
it was
side.
good in the way that you did try to aim for like a couple seconds, and it felt like you're on the head. I'm guessing. No, I think this is fine. The thing is though, is that I think I would commit here. I think you commit here, and if you die, you die. I think it's that because the problem is that by you not committing, you've kind of killed the player behind you. Because if you commit here, I think the Ray spends an extra bullet to kill you. Right? Yeah, she does. And in the grand scheme of things, not a whole lot amount of damage, like a whole amount of bullets, but you may even have another chance here at shooting her back. Because right now you're moving instead of firing. You can definitely fire another bullet in this space of time. By the time you get shot once, at this point, you can fire another bullet for sure before you get shot again. So this could have been like the kill if you stood still and tried to kill her.
That's one up in the wall.
Spike down A.
Viper on side.
I understand the second try, like doing this Viper kill, you do want to try and live here. You're in a 2v3 and putting the Brim in a bad situation if you die, so you are trying to find like a lucky shot to try and win the round in this sort of situation. I still think committing is maybe better, at least for a tiny bit there, but yeah.
Yeah, left.
It can be feel a bit weird to commit to a fight when in that situation. Now you're going to be committing to every fight. You're not going to be trying to. I mean, you might try and dance around, depending on the game, depending on like the position. But for the most part, when you're on low HP and you're dancing around cover, it's hard to justify it when you're low. I know that sounds stupid, but it's because if you get wallbanged, you'll still die. And you're going to be taking chip damage after chip damage as well. So it's not always the best thing. Usually it's best to commit to the fight and win the fight straight up than to be taking all this chip damage. Especially when you're low, chip damage will kill you. So yeah, it's not always the best. Like it depends on the situation heavily and like where the people are. If you're in a 1v2, for instance, like in a 1v2 gunfight, like that type of situation, you're going to be like jumping around cover and not committing that much. And it can be good in certain situations depending on what guns you have, what position you're in. Like there are situations where it is good, but in those sort of situations, I don't think you're going to be like playing with cover like that because you are just going to be taking chip damage and dying, or you're just like not coming to a fight and then losing the round because of it. Overall, it's very close game.
We fucking like Johnny Sins.
I don't particularly like Sheriff on first round. But I don't. Oh, that is risky. I don't really like Sheriff on first round. The reason why I don't like Sheriff on first round is because it's fairly pointless. The only benefit you get is that you one-tap headshot below 45 meters. That's like the main benefit you have. right? So, and you kind of have to use it, right? And it has to be versus also, it also only gets justified if the enemy team have a lot of armor, and there's no way to tell that, right? They could have armor, they could not. It's literally not possible to really know, especially at lower reloads when people do wilder buys, where you don't really know what they're going to do. At higher reloads, it's more likely that you know that people are going to go like some things like 4 util on the initiators and that kind of stuff, and who's going to go armor, if anyone's going to go armor, that kind of stuff. But in lower elos, it's not possible. So what I would do is I wouldn't go the sheriff. I would only go the sheriff if you know you're going to be taking a fight below 45 meters. Otherwise, as well, you can also just go the ghost, because it's kind of the same in a lot of ways too. You're just going to be taking the risk that sometimes you might not get the one-tap headshot like the sheriff would. That's like the only risk you're going to be taking. But like, yeah, I would just go for the ghost, because the ghost is better in most of the metrics than the sheriff is, especially on pistol. I think the ghost is better than the sheriff generally, but the sheriff has the chance of one-tap headshots, which is why it's better in like more eco situations versus guns. But you're not against guns here, you're against pistols, so I would favour the ghost. I'd also favour potentially going stuff like shorty if you want to play somewhere else, like a more closer angle with a different strategy, right? That kind of stuff. Just kind of think about how you're actually going to play the round out. And I do know that you're going to take that first fight, right? And that first fight, the sheriff one-tap headshots regardless if the person has armor or not, which is quite good, right? But if you have a ghost, you're going to get a one-tap headshot if they don't have armor. And usually the person running forward is going to be the duelist. Most of the time, they're going to have a ghost, which means they're not going to have armor. So, for the most part, I would just go a ghost there. There's like a lot of reasons to justify going a ghost, I think, compared to a sheriff. Aside from the very small situations which I've talked about, where the sheriff is maybe better. There's also another event in Ascent as well. Another event in Ascent, that's crazy. Another point in Ascent where, with the sheriff over the ghost, where you can use it to wallbang, which is also another thing you can potentially do, right? That is also like an argument for the sheriff, but you didn't do that, right? And you didn't buy it for that. One other thing here as well. This is actually a really important note to have. So first of all, we didn't really have any information here. So our crosshair should not be in the ground. Something else that's really important as well is that the knife isn't that much of a speed boost compared to the sheriff, especially over short like spaces of distance, right? Over like short spaces of time and distance, getting your knife out is going to do not as much. If you're going to be like moving across the whole map or like half the map, then sure, get your knife out. But right here, you can have the sheriff out. If you just want to walk across here or walk behind them, then sheriff out is probably best until you know it's going to be more safe going behind them, and then you can start maybe potentially getting knife out to catch up with them again, because they're going to be running, you're going to be walking behind them. So there might be times where you need to get knife out to kind of keep up with them. But especially at this point when you know you've got like no certainty in what's going on, the sheriff is going to be the play, right? You're going to keep the sheriff out, because like there's a lot of reasons why, and I've already talked about them. But yeah, and this is one of the reasons why is that you'll just die if someone's there. And you don't really get the increment. Like the speed boost doesn't matter from the knife really that much over a short space of time.
Here, two other connectors.
Oh my god.
Why?
Is you lose this, right? Yeah. Okay, that's fine. It happens. Okay, so what I don't want to see is I don't want to see a buy. I want to see a full save. Maybe some util. Util is fine because you can save util for next round anyway. So you can use it if you need it to win the round right now, or you can just save it for next round. So util is fine to buy in the second round if you've lost. Depending on how much you buy, like sometimes. Oh. Maybe it's a bit too obvious from the Sage walking forward. Kind of unlucky. The Sage took a massive risk and it kind of got you killed, which is kind of funny. But oh well. It is what it is. It happens. It happens.
51.
Alternatively, what you could do, right, is you could just tell the Sage to peek this. Like, if you want to do this, like, this is like the benefit sometimes. Like, it's going to be difficult for you to benefit from other players, like talking to other players as much in lower reloads. But in like mid to higher reloads, it's a lot better to talk to other people. But I wouldn't stop that. In my opinion, that shouldn't stop you from doing that. You should just still be trying to talk to your teammates and get them to do the like not correct play, but help them with the play and that kind of stuff. Just because it gets you in the practice for when you do get to those elos. On top of that as well, like it still helps. It still definitely helps, especially if people are very cooperative sometimes. And obviously, there's gonna be games in those mid and high elos that also don't benefit from you talking to them. It is what it is. It's just playing with other people, really. Yeah, I would still try and talk to other people, be like, yo, Sage, can you actually like sit on this corner and like try and bait, run away, and that kind of stuff. And then that way they might feel a bit more safe. They'll kind of walk up here and ironically not check this because they didn't think that someone had time to move. Like that kind of stuff can work, right? Because right there, I felt like the Raze knew, because Sage was so close, that this person, like, she kind of had the full, like, instead of having to visualize where the Sage could be, or where you could be, the Sage kind of gave them the visualization for them, right? Because they kind of they could see in their brain instantly. Like, they didn't have to see it in their brain, they could just see it physically, that, or like, I guess virtually. That Sage was super close, so it felt like, so that means that you could be in this corner very easily, right? It's almost like Sage reminded them that you could have been up that close as well. Like that's what it kind of did, I think. There, it kind of reminded Raze that, oh yeah, people can actually walk up that close to me. I better check this corner. Like I guarantee, like if that was like different, if Sage did something differently there, it wasn't walking up, then you would be fine. I understand that makes me feel, that sounds like I'm blaming Sage, but realistically, it should be something where it should be a moment where you're like, Sage, can you like do this instead of doing this sort of deal? And also something very important as well, don't be angry if someone doesn't agree with what you want to do. Don't be angry, just be like, well, I tried, and that's it. I tried to get them to make the right decision, or to make the decision that was beneficial to me. If it doesn't work out, or if they didn't want to do it, it is what it is. You can't force anyone to do it. And if you do think it's genuinely the correct play, you can just treat it as if you are blameless in that situation, because they just didn't bother doing it. But you made the decision, and you made the effort to try and make the right play, so you were kind of essentially blameless in that situation. So don't worry too much if they don't follow it. You know, don't flame them for not following or whatever, right? Crosshair's a bit high here. Crosshair's a bit high. It's not quite LeBron James, but it's someone quite tall. You did fix it towards the end. You can see your crosshair slowly getting lower. You actually move forward, which is going to help. I mean, that's just unlucky. You're in the wall. I think once you fight this, I mean, prime the dash is half and half here. If you expect to take a fight, you should prime the dash. Realistically, you probably should prime the dash already, but you're definitely priming it there. 100% you're priming it here. If you're aiming to re-peak, you're 100% priming your dash. I know that for a fact. The other one is debatable. Like, do you want to prime the dash? Like, it's a bit prediction at that point. And honestly, I don't have a solid prediction for this player doing this. Actually, yeah, I do. Never mind. Yeah, I do. I can hear the moving tiles. Someone's probably going to be here. It's the third round of the second half. Someone's probably going to be here. Never mind. There is actually a prediction here that you can make from the information you have in the room. So yeah, you should be able to prime dash before that fight even happens.
Yeah, one on going to a the thing.
Bear in mind that's just a prediction, right? We know that people are towards tiles, which means that there's a decent chance that on the third round they're going to try and split up and try and get some interesting kills or some more sneaky kills, because they have to try and take some risks. Oh my god.
Spike down.
His Halo's wild.
I think she's slow.
Stage, revive me, please. Revive me, Jed.
30 seconds left.
Oh my god, this is wild. It's a bad smoke by the enemy clove. Bad smoke by the enemy clove. Terrible smoke by the enemy clove.
Just go in though.
Need to walk. Yeah, needs to walk in. Yeah, there we go, doing it. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. That's how you win the clutch there. Honestly, the enemy clove completely trolled. Completely trolled. With that smoker. Okay, we got the garden again. So what can we actually do that? No, we can't. Kind of unfortunate. Yeah, okay, I don't really mind the buy. I think, yeah. I don't really mind the buy. It's debatable. Who lived? Just Sage. Never mind, it's a save. It's 100% a save here. Everyone should be saving here. Obviously, aside from Sage. Everyone's a save. So yeah. I don't like the Guardian here. Don't like the Guardian. I think you should just go light armor into sheriff probably, or light armor ghost, light armor shorty. You could go no armor no armor sheriff or no armor bookie or something. Or like full light armor bookie's fine potentially. It might be a bit too much though. Extra 50. I don't actually know. Depends on what you use util wise. Yeah, I don't like this angle. You're a bit too close to it as well, in my opinion. You should try and be further away from the angle you're fighting, right? The reason why you want to try and be further away is because in this game, if you're further away from a corner and you're swinging around it, you're actually going to be seeing the person behind it first. If you're close to a corner, basically the closer you are to a corner, the faster you're going to be seen, right? So if this is a corner, right? Just completely ignore the fact there's a map in front of us, right? Then say if this is a corner, right? If someone's standing here and someone's standing here, this person is actually not going to be able to see this person, right? The reason why is because they're going to like see past them, if that makes sense. They're going to see like this. And this person is actually going to see their elbow because they're so close to the corner that their elbow's coming out from the model, right? So they're actually going to see this person. It's hard to demonstrate it out of game. I've just realized that. But yeah, they're going to actually see the person first, close to the corner first. It's demonstratable in the game by a lot of times. My explanation and my little diagram was terrible. But yeah, it is demonstratable. You do not want to be close to corners like this. So what I would do is I'd be backing up. I'll be like furthest, but all the way back here if I want to peek this, right? You'll see, you can watch pro players and watch like other high level streamers, high rank streamers, that they will not be close to this corner ever when they're fighting it. I mean, it kind of depends on the situation. If they have a bookie or something like that and the smoke in front of them and that kind of stuff, they'll be close. But like with a guardian or with a vandal, they're not going to be close like that. Unless they have the intention to run forward, which you did here. It's fine. Sometimes they will. Depends on really depends on the situation. But if you think you're going to fight someone, you're going to be further away from the corner. Also, you could have been looking for a wallbang with the guardian as well. Those are fine. Ooh, nice shot. Good shot. It's probably predictable that you're going to walk up and get the gun. And I think you're a bit too greedy for this gun here. Once again, we're in a 4v5, right? So we don't really need to be taking a risk. No risk to take here, really. Obviously, it'd be nice to get the gun. But bear in mind as well that you're also one of the healthier players on your team. Obviously, these three players haven't taken damage. But Brim is basically one bullet from death, right? Which means that it's not that much to equalize. Is it from, if you're taking the perspective that Brim is like one bullet away from death? Like, it's not that much to equalize. But if you're the one dying, then it means that you're actually behind, probably. Unless these people have taken like damage, which we don't actually know about. Which means that, yeah, we're putting ourselves at actually more of a disadvantage if we die. If we die as a high health player here. And obviously you don't have the highest health in your team. You probably have the fourth highest health on your team. Yeah, we're taking too much of a risk, but we get a kill. Yeah, this is too much of a risk. Even though it does work out, it is too much of a risk. There's no point in taking this risk. And honestly, we're lucky that Clove didn't kill us. We're really lucky that Clove didn't kill us. Like right now, if that Clove was a better player, you would be dead on the first like 3 bullets, at least. And I'm not even talking about a good player. I'm talking about a marginally better player. You would probably be dead. You'd be dead in that spray at least. That's for sure. You'd be dead in the spray against a gold player.
Back.
Yeah, the repeat is crazy as well. Like, if you honestly, if you take the kill on Clove is criminal. But if you actually have the self-control at this point to move back, then you've basically solo won the round for your team. Literally solo won the round for your team. Not only was this risk not necessary, but now we've got an even more unnecessary risk where you've got a 3v5. Like, you don't need to be dying here. And honestly, Yuri's right here. You should have really went back there. You went back a long time ago. Because now it's, as you can see, look, it's a 3v3. The 2 kills you just got meant very little. And because you ended up dying, and Brimstone, who was the lowest member on the team, also made a very stupid decision in fighting. So then, is there a 3v3? And technically, he would be the best person to die in that situation. But realistically, why give him that chance? What he should have done as a low health player, because you were the higher health player, what he should have done as the lower health player in like a 4v3, right? Is he should have went to find a high health teammate to trade off with, right? Where he would die, but the high health player would get the kill afterwards. Like, that would be a really good way to do it. For you, you just had to make sure you didn't die afterwards. And like, make sure you didn't die after getting the kill, right? The initial kill, really, on Killjoy is the main one. because you really took a massive risk on the next one. Can you stop talking? Yeah, I understand that you're getting angry at him, but he is trying to win the game, just like you. You know, you two are just trying to win the game. There's no need to be toxic about it. I understand that it can be a bit infuriating when you're like trying to play the game and you're trying to get you're getting micromanaged. But yeah, it just suck. It just suck. I understand that.
30 seconds left.
But it's very important to put those things in your head as well, to be honest.
Spike
Oh my
planted.
god.
Back.
Thanks. Thanks.
Don't push it. Don't push.
Okay, so that's something. So he said don't push, right? And don't push isn't necessarily always true. You can push. It is possible. Depends on the situation. Depends what play you want to go for. Depends what information you have. Depends on what util you have at your disposal. Like if you can push people out of like it. Like for instance, Fracture's going to come back very soon, right? In the map pool. I think it might be already be out. Sorry, it might be already be out. I haven't really been keeping up with Valorant over the last like half month. Basically since like the 9th of December, I want to say. I think it was the day before the last update was when I stopped playing for like, or stopped keeping up with Valorant. So it might already be out. But Fracture's going to be in the pool this year at some point, early on. Or it might already be out. On that map on defense, it is much better to be pushing out of the sites and like out of the barriers and defending more easily defended positions. The mindset of you can't push on defense is really harmful. So I wouldn't take that advice at all from people that say that. But I also wouldn't, out of spite, push just because they say don't push either. I would try and like you got to try and ignore them and take a more measured approach to when you push, and if you push, try and do it critically, because these people aren't thinking critically, right? They're thinking very, very biased to how they think the game is meant to be played, or like they're thinking very, very biased towards defense, basically, like how they think defense should be played, which is usually wrong. And obviously biases can get you stuck in bad habits as just as much as they can get you stuck in good ones. But yeah. That's a massive conversation probably. That I don't have I'm not equipped for right now. But yeah, basically, the long story short is, you don't have to not push on defense. You can push on defense. You clearly know that, to be fair. But there are definitely benefits of playing defensively on defense too sometimes. Because right now, I think you've pushed like majority of the rounds, right? There probably are like some benefits to not pushing as well. But yeah,
Reloading. Spike down.
there are definitely benefits to not pushing sometimes too. It really just depends on the round. Yeah, okay, that's too aggressive. Because right now, you've put yourself in a situation where the enemy team knows you're here by yourself.
Right side there.
This is also once again too aggressive.
One enemy
You've
remaining.
advertised you're here with the
Right
dash.
side there.
But apparently, they just don't have a headset. Enemy team. Unless you were like perfectly on the edge of the sound. No, you weren't.
No.
Here, they definitely heard you. They 100% heard you updraft. 100%. They heard you land.
No, right side there.
And they heard the end of the dash. So they knew that you were here. 100% they knew that you were flanking. It's crazy. So yeah, I just wouldn't use abilities like that. Especially because you know the wall's breaking with the updraft, by the way. The wall's been up for 40 seconds at this point. Breaks in like 45-ish. Or is it 50? I can't remember. Yeah, it's been up for a long time now. You also saw it breaking here. Even if you don't time it, you can see it breaking by itself.
Remaining.
And then the dash is just, you don't want to waste the dash, but you just shouldn't have primed the dash. Because you shouldn't have been updrafting there. But yeah.
On my mark.
Against better players, you get punished there, 100%. They hear you, but they have headsets plugged in, and they kill you. Or at least they fight you. They might not kill you, but they definitely fight you. Which usually means it's usually too much of a risk, especially considering the position you're in, right? 3v2, 4v2. It's the same as the risk conversation from a couple of rounds ago. Okay, this is wild. This is wild.
For me.
Yeah, I think right now, you don't... you know, I don't hate it. I'm okay with it. It's debatable though, right? Because you kind of like waste your updraft if no one's there. So I don't think you need to updraft. You can actually maybe just jump on the box and jump up, potentially. I don't mind the updraft too much. I think realistically though, what you do, if you want to have a more risk-averse play or just a play that is more likely to work out, because if Killdrew's not there, you don't get a kill, right? And if there's no guarantee that she's there from this point, you just leave. Because this wall and Sage is essentially like a tripwire. Basically. At least the wall is. Not so much Sage. But Sage's same with the wall, obviously. She's going to fight with the tripwire, basically, is what it's like. If they break this, then you know they're there. If they don't break it, then you know they're not there. Or at least, well, you know that they're potentially there. But they could be there. But the most important thing is that if it breaks, not of its own accord, then you know they're there. That's the main thing. So you can run away. And if this starts to get broken, Sage will probably call it. Sage will probably be dead, potentially, maybe. Or you can maybe even, if depending where you run to, you can even hear the bullets being fired at the wall. And then you can come back. It's completely fine. It's essentially like a tripwire. That's the more risk-averse or more guaranteed way to get value from the wall that's been placed. Because you can just use it like that. But I understand as well that the Sage is looking to fight. So you may want to try and go fight. I think overall, like, either one works. I think yours is more risky. So I wouldn't necessarily do it all the time. And I think that overall, like, you chose the slightly worse play, but it definitely is more rewarding overall. It heard you. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So this time, so the Raze has a headset.
Heal, Sage, heal.
Heard the glide, heard Sage drop, heard you drop. So that's why they ran into the first part of mid, and then put down this boom bot. Okay, one of those three. One of the three have a headset, or maybe all three. That's crazy. Okay, I didn't expect all three to be there. That's crazy. I thought Raze was just there. It turns out she wasn't even the one that fought you. It was Gecko and Clove. That's crazy, actually. That's so funny to me. You see this, and then you fight, and then it's Gecko and Clove. All three are just chilling there. That's so funny. Okay, so I think here, we got too much into... Sorry, I was too busy laughing at the situation. Right here, we got too focused on what gun, like our gun fighting, rather than what gun we have, because we're using knives. We don't need to stop. You can be running and jumping and shooting this guy. Also, as well, something that is really, really important with jet knives. So you'll see people like Tariq or just any other jet player. Tens every jet player you watch that is good. We'll do this. Right here, I can see you left click, and when I played Jet originally to Immortal, by the way. When I played Jet, that's what I was doing. I was doing left click. That's not how you be good at Jet with knives. What you want to do is you want to hold down left click at them, and that's what you'll see. Majority of the Jet players do. They'll be holding down left click on the player, like a machine gun of five bullets. That's what they do with the left click. And that's what I recommend you do here as well. In running and jumping as well, ideally, with the knives. Being very, very slippery, because you can afford to be moving around. So that's what you should be doing. But yeah, we're like too locked into like what we should be doing with every other gun. I think that might be one of your like major problem points, is that I don't think you're not really taking into account what gun you're using. And I think that really illustrates it quite well there, that you were playing like you had a Vandal when you had knives. And to an extent anyway, because obviously you did do the updraft, like kill midair, right? So obviously Vandal won't do that. And you clearly knew that you could only do that with knives. But in the actual fight you took with the Gecko and the Clove, you were playing like a Vandal. So I think you need to put more thought into what gun you're going into the round with. And what gun you're using at the time when you're actually fighting, right? Because all guns do fight fairly differently, depending on what class of gun they are, right? So the Operator fights differently to the Vandal, in the same way that the Vandal fights differently to the Judge fights differently to knives, fights differently to a Shorty, like, etc, really. There's obviously some guns that have very some similarities, but for the most part, it's a tactical FPS. Most of the guns have some differences and some very small situations, or that they have like over another version of a gun in their class, and then the class itself has a different way to play.
Okay.
Okay, so here one
Can be.
in Sabrosa. That guy was very aware of it. They are very aware of you, which is funny, and they still lose to you. To be honest, I think you are better mechanically than you at least played pretty well mechanically this game, I think. overall,
Come B.
like that was a pretty good kill. That
Spike
was pretty good.
Come B.
Like if you keep practicing that,
down,
you're gonna
mid.
get good at counter strafing and killing people with the bursts. And the spell. To be fair, that was a spray, but yeah.
Come B.
Spike down mid.
Nice shit. Nice
Actually, was it a spray?
Spike down mid.
shit.
Maybe a burst. Like spraying to burst. That's a spray. And just not aware of who could be behind you, I guess, or who could be in that corner. I guess you just assumed because Gecko was there that he was like the first one forward. Yeah, I understand what you thought that, to be honest. But I think there you can, as soon as you hear the person shoot, you know it's an enemy. I'm pretty sure, right? You should know it's an enemy there. I think with the Odin.
Standing.
Come on, good try anyway. I understand why you thought that, which is the main thing, right? You had some logic to what you're doing. I do think as well, though, you don't need to be pushing forward. Actually, to be fair as well. Once again, 4v5. I won't talk about it again, but yeah, we know, you know. I think at this point I've explained it a lot now, so don't need to go over it again. Mommy.
My knees are gonna kill after this.
Operator would be nice, but unfortunately not gonna get it. Once again, same logic as before. We hear all these footsteps. I'll be priming dash. If you don't want to be, so there's two things here. If you want to be more mobile, in that you want to try and push afterwards, after fighting or after not fighting, and then you want to try and go flank, right? I don't think this is ever the option you take. If you want to fight this, you're going to be standing further back from this corner. If you want to fight this, you prime dash if you hear footsteps that potentially are going to fight you, and then you would dash like back into sight, basically, right? Otherwise, if you want to play more aggressively, like you are now, and you want to have more options, like more like very, very small amount of time efficiency going forward, what you can do is, at the start of the round, walk out into the open. You have the opportunity to walk out into the open and play an off angle on Jet. You don't have to be playing on angles of Jet, right? Honestly, I'm stupid that I actually didn't say this on the first one. Like, I should have said this. I don't know why I didn't say this. On the first time around I saw this. But yeah, you should be on the off angle here. With this, like, if you want to have this aggression, then you can be on an off angle, dash away this way. That's what you should be doing, I think. If you want to be in this sort of position, you either do one of those two. You don't sit in this position. This is you literally hear them right next to the doorway. You should be priming dash here. He saw you first. He was right against the wall. You can see. He was right against the wall. He saw you when he was like here. You don't have like here. You don't have time to react to this. The way that he played it as well. He swung that thing. Like, he didn't play it great, but like he swung it. Like the way that you're gonna get swung and you're gonna get punished for what you did. Right? You're way too close to the corner. I'm actually really happy this came up. Because it actually shows that you get punished for this. If you were further back, you would have had more chance. Because you would have had more time to react to him. Because you would have seen him first. And if you're on the off angle, he would have completely missed you. If you did that swing, he would have been looking at the doorway while you were in the open. He would have swung like this into this position and you would be here. Free kill because the bro is looking at this doorway, you're looking at him. And then you can dash away so you don't get traded. Both ways are better than what you've just done, basically. And obviously the one further back is marginal, right? It's still technically the same angle. You're still going to get pre-aimed. But you're going to see them slightly ahead of them. So you're kind of inviting the challenge, I guess, I would say. The off angle is majority of the time better. But they can also mitigate it by using utility, so... Like, for instance, if you're against a KO, right, you're going to get silenced if you play that off angle. For instance. Well, obviously not against KO this game, but... You might get flashed by Gecko and that kind of stuff. Decayed by Clove. Honestly, they don't have great util to get deal with you. They have the best thing they can deal with you with is literally Dizzy. That's like the best thing that they can deal an off angle. They can deal with they can deal an off angle. Deal with an off angle. The best thing they can do to deal with an off angle is to use Dizzy. Apparently, I can't formulate sentences today. So going through every sentence. But it makes sense. I haven't like made a video since the 14th of December. So all my videos are pre-recorded through December because I want to have a December break. So it makes sense. I haven't done content creation in half a month. I'm warming back up. I'm warming up. I started work back on
planted.
the 6th for content in general. Freelance and my stuff. Okay. I'll stop yapping and I'll watch the round. I like this round, so we actually didn't go aggressive this time. And it doesn't seem like there's any particular reason why we didn't go aggressive. I guess we didn't have a gun. Is that the reason why? Funnily enough, I think it's actually better this way. I mean, is it better this way? I don't know if it is, because KO has ult. Not KO. Yoru has ult, so he actually sees like majority of the people there. So we could have used that information to flank, but I guess it was a bit too late. It was a bit too late.
Spike planted.
No, I do like this because the Killjoy's ulting as well. Actually, I do like that you're here. This would be, even if you had a gun, it would have been better you were here this way, I think, because of the Killjoy ult. Right there, I think if you just smoke the bomb, so the way you smoke the bomb in Jet now as well, you have to look straight up, send it out a bit, and then bring it back down, and then diffuse basically. That's how you get like the full duration of the smoke to diffuse, and that's what you should be doing there, I think. And then you've got the dash just in case.
One enemy
Oh
remaining.
my god, that's good by your teammates there. Save you. Yeah, that's a bit risky. I don't know why. I guess maybe you wanted to trade the gun. I guess you wanted to trade the gun for the. You don't want to use an Odin, but realistically, what you can do here, your teammates like using Odins. You can just drop them the Odin. The Odin's worth 3.2k. The Vandal's worth 2.9. So generally, you're actually losing 300 money, like 300 credits, by getting a Vandal over the Odin here. If someone wants to use the Odin on your team, just drop it for them, and they'll drop you a Vandal. Or hopefully they'll drop you a Vandal. I mean, it's not guaranteed, I guess, but and then I guess you can just, I don't know. I guess you'll have to use the Odin in that case or something. Ward it away from them, but yeah. You probably should be looking for the drop in there. Like that guy actually said, "Give me Odin, Jet." Like if you saved the Odin and didn't randomly die at the end, it would have been perfect. Once again, way too close to the angle. We do have the operator. I think as well, we're also not taking into account much for our reaction time, which is something I should have pointed out as well. But there's been a lot to point out with this angle specifically. Like your reaction time is not this. My reaction time is not this. 10s for sure, maybe. We should probably be putting it like over here somewhere. Be a bit more lenient on our crosshair placement of reaction speed. I think, because you know, think about the Gecko last round, right? He went sending it past your crosshair. And that's partly for a couple of reasons. We're not really in the best of angles. Like this is not a very good angle. The reason why this is not a very good angle, they're swinging past you. They're swinging past you here. This is too tight of an angle to be watching. Because they're going to swing past you, be here, and they're going to wallbang you. And you're not going to shoot back in that time. Thing is, I don't mind like the way that you kind of like see how you do this, right? Where you put this against this corner rather than this corner. That's good, but the angle is too slim. If the angle was like this or something, or like this, maybe. I can't visualize it very well. But if it was like this and you had your crosshair like this, right? You're like in this point or this point, somewhere around here in this angle, it would be much better. Like about the double the width. I bet you can see it's like double the width of this angle. I think that would be way better than this. It also is very crazy going aggressive here. The operator is not a very mobile weapon. You don't really want to be swinging with it. You want to be holding angles with it and let them swing into you. Retaking is not something you want to do either. So retaking is not fun. Something that you could have done here that is really important is move around the map, because we basically played this angle every single time. And as you can see, I mean, it's 13 seconds in. Let's see if we can see it sooner. We can see it sooner. At this point, we should be running A. Both teammates, or at the very least, should be communicating to Killjoy or Sage to go away. Because the operator does not want to be playing. Actually, we had a Vandal at this point. Maybe we weren't even thinking about the operator. But if we go operator, we go operator. At this point, we definitely should be trying to go A. Or something like that, right? It's maybe not enough time, though, is the problem. But yeah, the reason why is because we don't want to play the strong side with an operator. Because the operator does not want to retake. We want the strong side to be opposite, so we have less chance of needing to retake the opposite side of the map. So because we got our strong side there. So that's the reason why the operator likes playing weak side. It also is a very, very powerful weapon that can play weak side. Because the weak, it's just strong on the weak side. You can just get a kill by taking a bullet. Especially really good against low reload players. But yeah, going aggressive here is crazy. Oh, we didn't go aggressive. We did actually end up going back this way. I don't mind that. You probably should be scoped in. I don't mind you checking that potentially, but I don't think it's
Oh, cool.
unlikely.
Last player standing.
Under heaven. Low.
Yeah, we know
I
Under
see.
Heaven and we know Gen. No, both.
One enemy.
Low.
That was
I
really
see.
lucky. It was a good shot overall though.
One enemy.
Low.
Nice.
To be honest though, to an extent though, you have to have like some sort of luck
Nice.
to retake correctly with the operator, unless you're really good.
There was, oh,
A retake, like playing with the operator. Like you'll see like pro players that have like really good operating mechanics. They're
Snack
crazy when they're retaking sites, even though they've got like one of the most
Enemy remaining.
difficult guns to retake sites with.
snack time.
It is definitely a learned skill that you can definitely learn. I say luck, it's not really luck, but it can be in those sort of situations. 1v2 it can be. But you gotta count on people missing and not killing you sometimes. But yeah,
Only brought in
it's a good try. It's a really good try, but yeah. Kind of unlucky. I think you should have been playing A to begin with, or you should have been trying to tell a teammate to go play A to begin with. Would have been a bit easier for you, I think, overall.
Spike down.
Right,
mid.
right.
It's a bit weird, but that's fine.
Enemy spotted mid.
Maybe just a
They got it.
misclick. It's on the mouse button, so maybe. Okay, we're not moving
They
too
got
much there. We should be moving a lot more here. Like, realistically, I think
party
Ray should
over.
kill you there. Realistically, right? Also, the left click thing I've already talked about, you should be holding
One
down
enemy
instead.
remaining.
We end up winning. Okay,
Long.
nice. Okay, so the main three things. Let me open Notepad so I can just put them out. In terms of mechanics, I'll just say, I would just go follow the Gunfight Hygiene VOD video for Wuhujin. I think that's more than good. Oh my god, I did not realize this was so ugly. Right now. Let me see if I can. That work? Okay. So the main thing is understanding. Actually, no. What we'll do is we'll do Gunfight Hygiene first. Gunfight Hygiene. We'll talk about it. Gunfight Hygiene. Video Wuhujin. That's what I recommend you watch and follow that to try and get gold with your mechanics. I think mechanics actually aren't that bad overall. I think that they're better than a silver player in terms of mechanics. At least in terms of potential, like I can see there's potential to be better for sure. You've got like just a bit more practice, you'll definitely get gold using with the very similar mechanics. There are some problems with like decision making, like for instance, like the one we just talked about, operator strong side, operator usage on strong side, which isn't always advisable. There are times when you can do it, but for the most part, you want to be playing weak side, like majority of the time. There's also the main other thing that I want to talk about was the understanding which guns, what gun you're using. Because there are plenty of times, let me just do brackets Guardian down here. Because there's plenty of times, I won't do it down there. Can we actually see that? Yeah, we can. Okay, so the reason why is like brackets Guardian, and the reason why I say this, because there are plenty of times where I saw you use the Guardian, and you were kind of not playing to what the Guardian's strengths were. And the same with the Sheriff as well. You're doing it with the Sheriff on the second pistol, where you weren't playing to the gun strengths. You weren't putting any thought into what gun you're actually buying and why it was useful, right? And the reason why I can tell that 100% as well is because you never bought a shotgun. You should definitely be trying to buy shotguns. There's usually room, especially when your character is like Jet or like a smoking type agent, like a controller or like Jet or Raze or something. Majority of the games that you play will include you buying a shotgun on one of the rounds. At least one, probably more. Because they are so good at helping you get rounds by playing close range angles, right? And you can play towards that strategy best when you've got a shotgun. And usually, you're going to be using one of those strategies in games. Ascent is one of those maps you can use those type of strategies. So you probably should be trying to understand what guns are best for what situations, and then trying to find those situations in game to use them. And those situations aren't ones you just happen to find yourself in. Yes, you will find yourself in situations where some guns will perform better than others, but you should be trying to engineer those situations. So for instance, that's when you buy a weapon, basically. So what I mean by that is you buy a shotgun because you know that you want to play in a specific area, right? So say if you're playing Bind and you want to play hookah, are you going to buy a Vandal or are you going to buy a Phantom? Right, you're going to buy a Phantom because it's better at short range. Better yet, are you going to buy a Phantom or are you going to buy a Judge? Like, a Judge is going to outperform the Phantom in that situation, even, right? The problem becomes, like, if I get to a post-plant situation, is the Judge going to be better than the Phantom? It's like, probably not, right? Because I'm going to have to go retake A with a Judge and it's going to suck. I might have to just try and go through lamps and just hope that I get a kill in there, that kind of stuff, right? So, well, there are avenues for you to navigate with the Judge in those situations. Like, the Phantom can perform in a lot of different situations, right? So what do I actually mean by all this stuff? I think this is my VOD. Not sure, though. It is AlexD229_. I don't know if that is you or not. If it's not, I think it might be, you might be the next VOD, I'm pretty sure, sorry. But my train of thought for the guns thing is just try and understand what your guns do and if you can play towards them in the round. That's the main thing you've got to think about, I think. For now, I think you're the next VOD. You are the next VOD. So next week. So next Saturday. Week's time, 11th. Is probably when I'm going to do it. Might do it sooner than that though. It might be sooner than that. I'll message you the day before if I do it sooner. Anyway, I'll message you on Friday as well. If I haven't done it sooner by then. But yeah, that'll probably be it. So yeah, this is like the main like three things I think. So think about where you're going to operator. Try an operator on the weak side if you can. Don't use the operator on the strong side, because the strong side is going to be helping you not retake in those situations. Gunfight hygiene video. I think you just need a bit of practice with mechanics and you'll be fine. Turn on the shooting graph as well. Shooting graph. I'll just quickly put shooting graph. Shooting graph is also really important, I think, for understanding when you're making mistakes when you're fighting people, because especially important as well when you're when you're reviewing the VOD as well. Like if you're recording VODs and like looking back, this is really helpful. But it is also helpful when you die, because when you die, that's when you've most likely made a mistake. Not always, but most likely made a mistake. And the shooting graph does have, like, it does have some lingering to it where you'll see, like, if you were moving and shooting and that kind of stuff, right? So you're about to tell if it's your aim, if it's your movement. So I just recommend that for basically any player under Immortal, basically. Even some Immortal players probably. And then definitely me. I reckon that to myself as well. Understand what gun you are using as well. I've already talked about that. Just to summarize, yeah, that's it. For the VOD, I think, for the VOD review. If you have any questions, I'm guessing I don't think you're here. But if you have any questions, you can just message me in Discord. I'm always open in DM, so just ask me questions about the VOD. It should be up on YouTube as well after the stream, so it's on my live section. I'll link you the VOD anyway, probably after this, because I'm not. This is like the second YouTube stream ever, as well. So I'll just link you the VOD afterwards on the live section. So yeah, but yeah, that's great. Yeah, hopefully that was insightful, helpful. I'm not going to be streaming anymore tonight, I think. We'll like ease into the year, I think, and I'll stream longer over time. I need to get back into streaming, but I'm going to have a busy year, I think, this year, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, so yeah, goodbye. I'll be back next week at the very least. Like, I'll definitely be back by Saturday. It's just if I stream in the week sometime, I might do. Don't know. I'm going to be pretty busy this week. I think it's like the first week back doing things, so yeah, we'll see what happens. So I'll be back on Saturday at the very least. So goodbye. I'll see you then. Have a good rest of the week. Have a good week. Have a good evening. Bye.